Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here. Hopefully you had a chance to try this on your own. This is part 2 of the 1.2b notes. Really just an example. You can dive in here. You read the first thing, M is between L and N. Hopefully you get that drawn on there. You get 3 points. A lot of these sort of basic examples have 3 points. So you have M somewhere between the two. In other words, you have 3 collinear points. And then I give you these algebraic expressions. And I did give you a length. The entire thing is 41. I would typically write these right on the drawing, x plus 2 and 3x minus 1, and put them from m to n. This distance is 3x minus 1. For me, then it jumps out that if I realize that these two, and even though they're not numbers, if I added these numbers together, I should get something equal to the entire length. There's your equation that you're trying to create. So it's a little different than what you might do in pre-algebra, where you're given equations. You have to come up with your own equation that would say this plus this is equal to 41. Then you use all those Algebra 1 skills to solve this. So this will not be given to you in geometry. That's where geometry is a little different. You often create the equation, and I mean the solving is easy. It's pretty basic Algebra 1. Combine your like terms, you get 4x, 2 and negative 1 is positive 1, and of course you subtract on both sides, divide at the end, and you can see x is going to be 10. Keep in mind the question doesn't ask you to find x. It says, well, I should say, it says write an equation to solve and find the variable. This is the big part, though. Then find the length of each segment. State the length of each segment. So we knew the whole thing was 41. If x is 10, I'm just going to tilt here a little bit. If x was 10, you got to use that value now and plug it back in. So you're going to plug it in here, or plug it in here, and you realize this is 12. I'd also plug it in here and check. 10 times 3 is 30. 30 minus 1 is 29. You get all 3 lengths on there. So there's your 2 answers, 12 and 29. The 2 smaller ones, and of course we already knew the original one was 41. Try the next one. It's very similar in nature. But again, drawing it correctly is critical. Got that vocab word from a couple days ago. 3 collinear points. So that O is between D and G. So you're either religious or you're like pets on this problem. It doesn't matter to me which one you want to go with. I've got O between D and G. Then you're going to take the given. I don't think these were on your paper. Some of these I hold them back. Add these 3 givens onto the drawing in some way, shape, or form, or create your equation from it. DO is x plus 2. DG is actually the entire thing, 3x minus 1. And GO, the little one, is 3x minus 10. Be careful. I listed them in a different order here. You should be able to look at these two and realize this has to be smaller than that, because you have the same number of x's. This is subtracting a bigger number. So you might, if you're not careful with this, you'll set the equation up wrong. This one's x plus 2, this one's 3x minus 10, has to be equal to 3x minus 1, because again, 3x minus 1 is the entire thing. Add the 2 small ones up, set them equal to the big thing, the long one. And again, the algebra is easy. It's the geometry of setting it up that's the new part of this class. I think I'll combine like terms there. You get 4x when you combine these two. Combine the negative 10 and the 2 and you get negative 8. Real simple from there because of the coefficients. And you should get, there's some of my work on there, you should get x is equal to 7, I believe. And you add, I don't know, there must be a typo right here. You probably subtract 3x from both sides and add the 8 to both sides. Oh no, it's not a typo. That's good. So x is 7. Again, that's not what it's asking for. The question is asking you to find each segment length, and always reread a question in geometry. Is O the midpoint of these two, this segment? So you plug the 7 back in, you go, okay, this is 7 plus 2, this is 9. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 minus 10 is 11. It's not, in fact, the midpoint. So those two are different lengths. And I would verify that it works in the third expression. And make sure that, these are supposed to add up to 20. I would check it in DG. Plug the 7 in here and you get 21. Minus 1 is 20. So you've kind of redundantly checked that all 3 segments are what they're supposed to be and that the value of x works in all 3 of them. Thinking you guys are, and of course the conclusion on there, it's cut off on the bottom here, is that O is not the midpoint because these two are not equal. Alright, another vocab word thrown in example 4. U bisects, and add this little segment line on your paper. Segment TB And it also gives you some measurements here. TU is equal to 6, TB is equal to 4y plus 2. And that's all I'm giving you. I'm a generous person. I am generous, but not on this problem. I'm being stingy here. The vocab word is the tip-off on this. Determine the length of each segment and the value of y. And a lot of people get frustrated. They go, well, you're only giving me 2 of the segments, and there's actually 3 of them. I'm stuck. I can't do it. It's impossible. There is enough information. The vocab word is a tip-off to that third piece of information. So TU is 6. TB is 4y and plus 2. Should be a tip-off. Well, if this word bisects has meaning, it means that's exactly in the middle. Which means if this is 6, this is also 6. That's a tip-off. You've got these two now. Or you could say, well, TB has to be 12. So you could take the 4y plus 2 and set it equal to 12. So there's a bunch of different ways to set that up. Again, you could do 6 plus 6 is equal to that 4y plus 2. Or you could just double the 6 and you get the same situation. Easy problem if I give it to you. The vocab words are going to be critical. Recognizing a vocab word is prompting you to set up a certain equation. Of course, you solve that thing and you get a nice, beautiful fraction. We love fractions. We love decimals. 2.5 or 2.5. You can plug back in to check that these all work. 2.5 times 4, of course, is 8. Oh, no, is that right? No, it's not. Sorry, 10. Silly. Add the 2 on, you get 12. So it does work. I'm going to save some of this vocab for when I get back, or at least for the next section on here. So you're good for now. If you want to jump down to the final example on the bottom, I think there's one more on there. Vocab. Let me just check in the head here. See if you need any of this stuff. No, you're good to go. Should be able to do the next 2 homework assignments. At least get started on. There are some tricky ones. I'll see you guys on Thursday.